Brendan Lade, who started on the bench for Port Adelaide, will play his 200th game for the Port Adelaide Football Club next week. Brendan Lade against the West Coast Eagles at Subiaco. What a star he's been, All-Australian the last 2 years. And he's starting the quarter in the ruck. Cassisi off the deck, Black, caught, West off, nice hands, Chad Corns. And now the long bomb forward from Salopek. No mark, no free. Begley toes it to Johnston. Missed the target with the handball. Kane Corn. Salopek slides. Much of these players will still have the moulded soles on. Stephen Salopek sent it back inside 50. And Warren Treadray on the move. Gets there. Nice arms wrapped around the leather.
I reckon it was cricket they called for the third umpire.
Yeah, and I was about to say the umpires paid that from behind as well. Very difficult to see if the ball actually half volleyed into the chest.
They call that the impossible pocket. Not just impossible to kick a goal from there, but impossible to pinpoint a pass. Patfield took it out deliberately, but, you know, why pay it now?
Here it is, the third umpire.
Yeah, you got the hand under it, but have a look where the umpire was in the background.
Black. Not fifth. Salopek, the abbreviated version. Travis Johnston to Jonathan Brown on the wing. Carlisle, Brown. Carlisle knows the boundaries there.
He's under pressure.
Just a point on Simon Black. I reckon he struggled in the first 10 minutes, and he probably didn't have a great first quarter. But the reason he's regarded as a champion of the competition is he's just kept on working and working and working and worked his way back into the game. Where now he's at 23 possessions and he's been one of the better players for the Brisbane Lions. He's skipper and he's set an example of just work rate. Still being tagged by Kane Corns, one of the best tags in the competition.
And here's the man you spoke of, Simon Black. On cue to Corrie. Thumps it along. Bradshaw, front spot, can't get a fly at it. Thurston's another well-directed fist. Seen him do that a few times tonight. Doesn't just punch it away, but punches it where he wants it to go. Ball in. Started his career at Port Adelaide as a forward, of course. Toby Thurston's 3 goals and one of the heroes in the grand final win. From the knockdown, around the body, Notting has kicked the goal to start the term brilliantly for the Lions.
Well, that's a major turnaround for Tim Notting. I reckon he's butchered it a fair few times tonight by foot, wrong decisions, etc. But this one, generally a pretty good kick. But that one was a classic goal.
Some good work on the goal line from Daniel Bradshaw just to work Toby Thurston's over the line.
And good special effects here by a cameraman.
That's a good finish. He's only been operating at 62% efficiency, Tim Notting, but a terrific goal there.
Saw Matthew Primus earlier in the game. Tim Notting's the man that the Lions drafted with compensatory pick 26 they got when Matthew Primus elected not to play with the Lions, moved from Fitzroy to Port Adelaide. It's been a good pick-up, Tim Notting. From the ball up, Chaplin, down to Cassisi, Chad Corns with the outside of the foot. And a rolling ball that finds the line.
No left foot on your favourite player, Jared?
That's deliberate. He's played that deliberate, has he?
Because it was 30 metres away from any teammate. He needed to go on the left foot, Jared. He tried to kick the banana, I think.
He's a favourite banana player, though.
Yeah.
He does like the banana. He can kick left foot.
Stiller.
I think he was just kicking into space.
McDonald could have decided to load up from 55. Might have been a better option than that.
Absolutely.
Grubber towards Bradshaw, who might make something of it yet. Spins out of trouble. Well, Notting kicked one from here moments ago. Hasn't been Bradshaw's night. Kicked 2 goals, 4.
Just such an odd place for Joel McDonald to look to chip the ball too deep in the pocket. You've got to go long and straight. We heard Justin Lepich, the assistant coach, say, old-fashioned footy, it's wet, you can't pinpoint passes, bash and crash, get it long and direct.
Alapate to Kane, to Travis Boak. And Brendan Lade. Leuenberger got a hand on it. McDonald, Leuenberger, Adcock, Black. They're looking as if they believe in themselves, at least the Lions, in this final term. Sherman. Oh, Stewart had his hands on it.
That's unlucky. He was following the ball, Sherman, and he just tried to... He didn't have a big swing at it. He just got it away from there. You could probably got to protect the player whose hands are over the footy, but he'd done everything right there, Sherman, in keeping the ball ahead of him.
Kick cut off by McDonald.
They got lucky there because McDonald clearly pushed his poor opponent out. Kick's got to be dangerous, was it? That didn't look to a dangerous kick to me.
Chad Corns has just positioned himself a kick behind play to try and mop things up.
Jonathan Brown inside 50. Can't get there. Travis Johnston from 15 metres out. Rolls it through. Where there's life, there's hope.
20 points, Jared.
Well, this is the lowest the margin's been since about the 20-minute mark of the second quarter. So they've just put themselves to sleep to some degree, Port Adelaide, and in doing so, they've given Brisbane just half a sniff. And Travis Johnson continues to mop up some possessions. And they are the ones that hurt the most.
First goal as a Brisbane Lion for Travis Johnston, and the Lions have kicked the last 4.
They just needed the rain, Dwayne.
Laid down to Chad Corns. Working hard into space, Ebert. To his own advantage. Keeps it alive. Begley. Deft deflection, then a toe poke, Irish style. McDonald. No one to go to. Hacks it forward, hoping for Corrie. Hits him. Things going right for the Lions at the moment. Leuenberger had an outstanding night on his own. No Charman. Nope. He gets the call to play on.
We had Stiller in short as well.
Jonathan Brown, not a bad man to go to though in a 2-on-2. Chaplin, well played Notting. Decided to slide in, keep the ball travelling. Riscatelli, another inside 50. He could go the whole journey. Sends the long bomb back to the square. Bradshaw. This will be 5 in a row.
What's happened? The rain has come and so have Brisbane. Unbelievable.
For his third. Brisbane Lions fans wouldn't go to bed yet.
Well, he didn't really have anything else in mind other than just get it along to the top of the goal square. Classic stuff from Bradshaw. He's one of the smartest body players I think we've seen in the last 20 or so years. He just knows how to hold a position. He's got those tree trunk thighs and used them to great advantage. And took a good mark.
Three goals, 4 for Daniel Bradshaw. 97, plays 83. Ton of time left, 15 minutes. And the ball up, laid. Adcock's had a good second half. Corns tried to slip it out, tries to get a kick away. Ball comes alive on the wing. Salopek towards Westhoff. To his own advantage and towards the boundary. Ball in.
Right now, Port Adelaide need a lift out of David Roden. He has not got near the footy this quarter.
Hasn't touched it. He had 4 only in the third after 20. And
Leuenberger's free. The Lions will get the clearance.
He was looking to pay advantage. But you've got to take your hat off to Justin Sherman. Jared, he's done a fantastic job. Oh, dangerous kick.
Leuenberger, it comes off. McDonald plays on quickly. Brennan's up forward, uses the body nicely, can run back onto it. Can he make something of it? He left it behind. Pettigrew sees the line and fumbles nicely.
That was unlucky. That ball had to bounce up at some stage. It just went end over end along the grass without kicking up at any stage.
So if they get the next goal, Brisbane,
look out.
The natives a little restless at the moment. Sean Burgoyne's kick touched. Roddle on the deck.
Good kick.
Tredray slides it further forward. Ebert sees it out.
So, Jared, if you're Mark Williams, at what stage do you sit there and say, well, you know what, we're going to put numbers behind the ball, which means the ball's probably going to come down there a lot because you haven't got enough players further afield to keep it up there. But do you protect the game or do you sit here and say, I think we can get a grasp back on it?
Well, I think they've been pushing numbers behind anyway in his own defence, but I think they've got to start winning the ball from the stoppages. That's where I think that Brisbane's got back on top.
Crowd want that to be deliberate, given that Chad Corns had one called deliberate earlier.
I don't reckon they can just flood back and save the game, because eventually Brisbane are just going to keep bombing the ball, and they've got good pack grabs like Bradshaw and Jonathan Brown.
Port Adelaide led by as much as 47 points if you've just joined us.
This is the bloke that's kept persevering, Leuenberg.
He's been good, hasn't he?
Corrie to Travis Johnston. Is he allowed to play on? He is, but he misses a behind. Scrape the post.
All of a sudden, the missed shots are coming back to haunt them, and we hope they don't get close enough so that there's one kick of difference, Dwayne, because we had that very dodgy goal, umpire's decision that went in favour of Port when it would never have been a goal.
Well, they've had more scoring shots than Port Adelaide, Brisbane. From the kick-in, Sean Burgoyne.
Start running again. Here's the man.
Laid, Peter Burgoyne gets a little shepherd. Kick, hits the target, but he drops it Westhoff.
That's the conditions. All of a sudden, the skill comes down a little bit from Port Adelaide.
McDonald to Black. Called to play on, he dropped it. Slides the handball out to Adcock. A wobbly torpedo forward, standing under a Pettigrew.
Well, that's the kick that they just can't do, because all day they've had these blokes back. Brisbane have pushed their blokes back into a zone. You just can't bomb.
Sean Burgoyne. Brendan Laid.
They do look happy to slow things down, though, Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide yet to win a game this year. Brisbane Lions the one win. Both clubs desperate here. Long kick, Westhoff. Thumped out of play, ball in.
I don't know what they recruited him as, Lockie Henderson, but he certainly shows promise down back. He's probably a key position type that can play at both ends, but he's been very, very good tonight in a couple of tough roles.
Laid, front spot, tap down. We saw David Roden on the bench after his 20-possession first half. Umpire Heath Ryan tosses it in the air. Black. Adcock. Stiller. And it opens up. Kick not so good. Although getting back Bradshaw with the bounce. Traps it. Caught. Gets it out. Stiller follows it up. Peter Burgoyne over it as well.
Well, that kick just had to go long, because he had the opportunity to go over the wall. They've got Chad Corns there, who's just pushed back, and he's playing as a floater across half-back. They've got to get it deep to Jonathan Brown in the square.
Anthony Corrie held by Peter Burgoyne. Umpire saw the jumper stretch.
Move quickly. He's 1 against 1 at the moment.
He might be able to go the whole way. Corrie sends a long drop part across the face. Bradshaw flies. Jonathan Brown crumbs it. He's caught. A behind. They edge ever closer.
Yes, okay, go, mate, go. Yep.
2 goals the margin. Chad Corns.
The best thing Port Adelaide can do to take a bit of the pressure off, and make no mistake, they're feeling it right now, but the best thing they can do is kick a goal.
Jeez, did he go to the marker?
Hooper with the touch. Ball down to Lappin. Kick to Bradshaw at full forward. There's that Thurston's punch again. But it's inside 2 goals. 2 unanswered goals to the Lions now. They hit the lead.
Good spoil that time from Thurston's. It's been a tough night for him against Daniel Bradshaw.
Long and high kick in the Brogan direction. Made the ground, couldn't mark it.
Good effort by Nigel Lappin there, just to put some pressure on the big man. The weather did the rest.
47-point lead, whittled down to 11.
Adelaide pushes up to do the ruck work, and Brogan goes back with Corns as loose. So they've got to pinpoint passes.
Ball knocked down towards Chaplin. Pushed, no free. Sean Burgoyne through the legs of Kane Corns. Dished it up. Peter Burgoyne gets it from Cassisi. Kick off the side. Might be out of the full. It is. Lions will have a shot at goal.
Oh, it's a shame he couldn't get the ball back quickly. He had loose players on if the ball hadn't gone over the fence into the seats. They are feeling the pressure, Port Adelaide. It is coming.
Stiller from outside the boundary line. Kicks while he's still outside. This would set the cut amongst the pigeons. They're less than a goal away.
The amazing thing about that kick is that's the same man, Jared, that strolled through the centre square before on his natural left foot. and kicked it straight off the side of the boot.
What's this for a throw?
A little bit of a fumble there.
There's a hand
A
on
quick
it.
hand pass there, but he's gone for the torpedo, Peter Burgoyne. That is low percentage off the side of the boot. Have a look at this for threading the needle after you've just shanked your last kick. That is brilliant from Shaney Stiller. Game on.
And there he is, Simon Black. He's just had 3 minutes rest. They got the goal. He couldn't get back out on the ground quick enough.
5 points to margin. Port Adelaide coming off one of the toughest games they've ever played last week in the showdown. And they're tiring. They led by 47. Cassisi rolls it to half forward. Westhoff, a fumble again. Henderson to Power. They're inspired at the moment, the Lions. Corrie, little slap toward the line by Surgeon. Didn't make it. Would have been deliberate anyway.
Smart kick.
Corrie to Black. Gets the free.
All of a sudden, things are working in Brisbane's favour.
Bradshaw calls for it short. It's ignored. Black wants to go a bit more central to Hooper. He might be within range.
He can roost it.
Particularly with no one on the mark.
Ron Hooper, yet to kick a goal this year.
49 metres. Take 49.
Asks where the mark is. Massive kick this to give the Lions the lead. 10 minutes from time. Oh, that is a gem off the boot. They're in front.
Jared, this is very difficult to explain. We had a game here that Port Adelaide were controlling, and I said at half in jest when the rain came, I said maybe this will take the skill out of Port Adelaide's game because Brisbane had been playing a scrappy brand of football. Anyway, well, Brisbane have kept doing what they've been doing all night. That's having a crack but making the odd mistake. All of a sudden, Port Adelaide haven't been able to control the footy because they can't pinpoint passes. They haven't got the slick hand passes in tight because they're fumbling, and all of a sudden Brisbane's in front.
A 48-point turnaround. Port Adelaide led by 47. They're now down by 1. Not sure what McDonald was doing there, but he didn't want to take possession. Perhaps should have. Pettigrew. Kick knocked down. Power over it. Called to play on. Scrappy, slippery ball at the moment. Boak.
Well, make no mistake, Dwayne. Port Adelaide season on the line right here.
Cassisi wide to Ebert. His season on the line almost as well. Is that deliberate? No.
From a tactical point of view, the only thing that stands out is that David Roden has been curtailed to some degree.
Yep.
Well, not to some degree. He's had 6 possessions, 4 possessions, in fact, in this second half.
Hasn't
and they've cut
touched
him
it in the
right
last
out.
quarter.
Has spent a bit of the time on the bench. Leuenberger. Been spectacular again. Stewart.
Shoots, that's good.
Pushed off the kick. Travis Johnston. Jonathan Brown. Slippery ball. Carlisle collects it at half back. Kick smothered out of play.
They've been relentless in their work rate, Brisbane. They've just attacked. They've attacked the footy. They've tried to surge forward. They've made a heap of mistakes, particularly prior to the rain coming. But now they're playing the brand of football that's best suited to the conditions.
Lade slaps it down but to Adcock. Kick inside 50. Carlisle in a tie-up with Brown. And the ball out of play again.
But surely it's as much, if not more, about Port Adelaide. Brisbane's been a constant.
Yep.
Port Adelaide, I reckon, were sitting there halfway through the third quarter thinking what we were thinking. Let's just get this over and done with because we've got this game won.
So what we were thinking.
Well, I'm pretty sure I was thinking that's one.
But at that point in time, they were hitting targets at will, handling the ball beautifully. That's been taken out of the game by the rain.
Yeah.
And the ball up. Somehow Jared Brennan manufactures a kick, but it's out of play on the full. Port Adelaide's ball.
I reckon psychologically sometimes you can get too far in front. And you get so far in front, you get 2 players relax, you get 4 players relax. All of a sudden the work rate drops off.
I'll take 48 points up any day of the
Yes,
week.
yes, I'm with you. It doesn't happen too often.
Sean Burgoyne. Short. Chaplin. Sean Burgoyne. And they're not as sure of themselves at the moment, Port Adelaide, and that's a turnover. Bradshaw.
They've got to get a goal here, Brisbane, whilst they got the run of it.
Johnston shrugs an attempted tackle, slides the pass to Jonathan Brown.
Found him. If ever you wanted Travis Johnson to hit the target, that was the one.
One of the criticisms about Travis Johnson is that he misses too many targets, and one of the reasons for that is that he tends to choose the most difficult option at times. But that was a difficult option, but it was the only option that would have resulted in a clear mark to Brisbane. Otherwise, he just had to bomb it high. Yeah. And he was good enough in the wet conditions to hit the leading Brown and give him a chance to get more than a goal in front now.
He's kicked 2 goals, 1 tonight, Jonathan Brown, to stretch the margin past a goal. He likes it off the boot. It's there. And Port Adelaide on the canvas.
So, Dwayne, where do Port Adelaide get their run from right now? Where do they get their inspiration from?
Well, Roden would be handy. He's had 24 possessions, 20 of them in the opening half. Maybe he's spent. Got to get it from somebody who's spent some time on the bench, surely.
Well, don't you go back to the bloke whose reputation is growing, and that is Chad Corns. He has found a way many, many times. He's in the middle. He's got to have an impact now.
Well, this has been a stunning turnaround. 3 goals to Jonathan Brown. The Brisbane Lions have kicked the last 8 goals in this match to get in front.
From the ball up, Black spins his way out of trouble. Gets the kick away, and the man again, Travis Johnston, has the ball in his hands. Bradshaw leads. Jonathan Brown leads. He misses both of them.
That's the flip side of the brilliance of Travis Johnston.
Salopek towards Treadray. Tried to flick it back. Modlop. Big moment seemed to follow Daniel Modlop. He toes it toward the forward pocket, and that's almost a win. It is a win for both clubs.
Dwayne, moments ago we saw a fantastic pass from Travis Johnson. That time he went for the impossible and hadn't even cleared the bloke on the mark.
Lions are flooding players back. There's 20 players around this ball in. Knocked down towards Modlop. Again, it's out of play.
Just the 4th time they've gone inside the forward 50 this quarter.
A lot of discipline required around the ball not to give away free kicks as well right now.
You see it's evolving into an epic. Leuenberger knocks it down to his advantage. Power, McDonald, Travis Johnston.
With the line. Evolving, Dwayne. I think it's evolved. You don't get back in front when you're 48 points behind at Amy Stadium. Unless you're a local team.
Brogan and Leuenberger. Ball hits the deck. Black tries to squeeze it out. Gets a free for in the back.
I reckon he nearly picked it up and dived then.
Yeah.
Simon Black. Now,
Simon Black has been brilliant in his persistence.
He has been.
He was flogged early, and yet he's finished up having a massive impact on this game.
Dean Brogan just fell on top of him. Made it an easy decision for the umpire to get, because in these conditions, the ball player will always get looked after.
Riscatelli long. Jonathan Brown with the punch. Travis Johnson, a one-arm collect. Open forward line. Bradshaw leads in the race for it. Spins around, gets the kick away. That's going to be there. It's more than there. They're nearly home.
I'm gobsmacked. I am absolutely gobsmacked. I don't think anyone saw this coming. It crept up on us. They started to look okay when the rain came. They kicked a couple. They kept creeping up on us. That's 9 goals in a row for the Brisbane Lions, and that's one of the best of the night. I thought he perhaps had a handball option to give, but he knew what he was doing. Daniel Bradshaw kicked his 4th goal, 2 coming in the final quarter, and this is just a Brisbane landslide.
Port Adelaide's theme song says there's history here in the making. Haven't they seen some history recently? Last year's grand final was history, and this would be a history-making defeat. Sean Burgoyne inside 50, keeps them in it. It's not over yet.
I'm glad he kicked the goal, Jared, because he had Stephen Salopek running ahead of him in the corridor to his right that would have run into an open goal from 30 metres out, but he took the responsibility, Sean Burgoyne. 50 metres on the run, that's a fantastic finish. It took an individual piece of brilliance to break a run of 9 consecutive goals for the Brisbane Lions.
Well, they needed some inspiration. He's the man with the talent. He delivered.
He almost single-handedly dragged Port Adelaide home in the showdown last week, Sean Burgoyne. He kicks the goal to give them hope. And the ball up, laid. Down towards Sean Burgoyne again. Here's Roden again. Doesn't get the free this time. A free that he might have got when things were running his way in the opening half. Leuenberger tries to extract it.
Isn't it amazing? The whole of Port Adelaide have just been cruising for 30 minutes, but now the switch is on. They are just twice as desperate. Looked like a free kick. Not paid.
Laid with a back slap to Lappin. Gets the kick away. Bradshaw, he's been the man of the moment. Could he kick another? Jonathan Brown in the square.
Daniel Bradshaw's on fire.
He is.
He is on fire.
It's been a brilliant move from Lee Matthews to swap those two guys over. Brown's gone deep. Bradshaw's gone out 30 or 40 metres out from goal. And that's where he's had an impact on this match.
No thoughts of just shepherding it through, Brownie?
Not in your life. And so he shouldn't either. It was too far from behind, and that goal umpire was down there blocking everything.
1 metre forward.
Jonathan Brown for goal number 4. They're on the canvas once more.
Still time, though. Still time for Port Adelaide to get back into it.
4 goals apiece to the key forwards for Brisbane, Brown and Bradshaw. Daniel Bradshaw, we said early it was a matchup that he liked because he was more agile and quicker at ground level than Toby Thurston's. He beat him on the lead a number of times, but he was a little bit inaccurate early. In fact, he's kicked 4 goals for, but has he turned it on in the 4th quarter?
It was a couple of years ago when these two teams went head-to-head here that it was the Brown and Bradshaw show. Brown kicking 7, Bradshaw 6. They've got 4 each tonight. And they edge ever closer to an unbelievable victory, the Lions. Travis Johnston's been good. Ball knocked down towards Sherman.
Nothing wrong with his second half either.
Toward half forward, Pettigrew, content to see it out.
Just going back to Travis Johnson, though, he pinpointed a couple of his disposals, Jason, but that says it all. Kane Corns has been shifted onto him. And when you get the recognition of Port Adelaide's coach, you know that you've had an impact.
Corrie through traffic. Jonathan Brown under it again, and he's marked it.
Oh, you freak. You freak.
He grabbed it with one arm.
Yep. You could see the despair on the face of Alapati Carlisle. He thought, what else can I do? I've got position, I've got his arm. He just pushed me out of the way and took it in the conditions. That could be the match-winning mark.
That's it now.
That's sheer strength.
And Carlisle's no frail man.
No.
Jonathan Brown for goal number 5.
2 metres.
They came from 47 points down, the Brisbane Lions. And he can't land the knockout blow.
That is a horrid kick off the boot. A horrid kick.
Thanks, Daniel.
And that probably, if he kicks that,
Right there now.
I think the task is too big for Port Adelaide. There's still a chance.
Big long launch straight down the middle. Chad Corns the go-to man. Leuenberger with the spoil. A disciplined spoil it was. Chad Corns again can't break free. Brennan ties him up.
It's been a great performance by Leuenberger.
I was about to say you can see why the Raps are so big on him because he's so inexperienced, only played a handful of games, but he makes so many good decisions.
And he just has continued to give a contest. Hasn't won all the time, but he's just continued to have a presence.
And that was his palm down again. Just keep the ball in the area. And we'll get another ball up here. Still eligible for the NAB Rising Star Award this year, Matthew Leuenberger. Picked 4 in the 2006 draft.
He's taken the front position too, which has tended to nullify the big man's strength.
Sherman's kick. Rolls off the deck. Power straight up in the air. Not 15. Brown dives in. Can't take the mark. Wouldn't have been paid regardless. But he wanted it. Ball in.
Peter Burgoyne's gone to full forward. He's the only man in the forward half, in fact, for Port Adelaide.
Trouble is the ball's just not getting down there.
Won't go near it.
3.5 minutes from an historic victory of the Lions. Chad Corns, Thurston's surgeon. Thumps it long in hope. Lions players fly, both spoil each other. Handball not good, misses Pearce. Torpedo off the boot from him. Treadray down there, Peter Burgoyne as well. Peter Burgoyne almost inside the line, can't keep it alive. 117 to 103, a 10-goal turnaround. Laid and Leuenberger, the old and the new. Burgoyne, handball. Brennan steals it. Corrie. Power. Bouncing ball towards Bradshaw and Brown. They're both there. They're both hungry. Bradshaw perhaps. The knockout blow. They're down. They're dead.
I'll tell you right now, as good a first half as David Roden played, and as good as anyone has been tonight, the man that's the best on the ground for the pure and simple fact that he's had the biggest impact on this game is Daniel Bradshaw. It's come down in the air, it's come down on the ground. He's managed to get himself in the right position. He's kicked 3 in this quarter. He's set another one up. He has done it all. He is the recruit of the year after missing with a knee injury last year. Unbelievable performance.
5 goals to Daniel Bradshaw. A 67-point turnaround, and Port Adelaide will start 2008 0-4.
The fans are starting to leave, and Bradshaw has a new opponent in Chaplin.
Well, Port Adelaide's players just have to own this result. They just didn't put Brisbane away. They had plenty of opportunities. They allowed themselves to get comfortable. The work rate dropped off. And they've just been mown over by a side that continued to persevere despite playing poorly for 2.5 quarters. And it turned for them.
A lot of it happened on ball as well. They're 19-9 up in the clearances this quarter.
Yep.
Peter Burgoyne, manhandled, no free. That's a throw.
It's a twofold story, Jared. It's what's wrong with Port Adelaide when you had a game in the keeping, you're 0-4 all of a sudden. Is your season over? Is it a season-defining win for the Brisbane Lions?
Straight down the middle to Justin Sherman. They're revelling in this now. Hooper, he sends it in the Bradshaw direction. Some icing on the cake perhaps coming up. Got rid of it just in time. Was tackled, didn't have it.
There's only one side running now, though. Port Adelaide, they may not have been able to put them away because they were so tired on the back of last week that not enough people continued to persevere for long enough.
And perhaps the effort of the first half took its toll.
Begley knocked it away from Ebert. Kane Corns shoots it out to Burgoyne, rolls it around the body. Pearce from the pocket. Tough kick. Motlop's down there, but it's through for a behind.
Yep, we can't believe it either.
It's a very sullen look, isn't it?
Believe it.
47 points in front when Jacob Surgeon kicked the goal 22 minutes into the third term. And since then, it's been all the Brisbane Lions. From the kick-in. They will rejoice in this. Lappin around the body towards the wing. Powers there. Surgeon thumps it out of play. 1 minute 10. 123 to 104.
Even listening to Justin Leppich at three-quarter time, I thought there was almost an air of acceptance that
It's beyond us.
it was beyond them.
Leuenberger. Spectacular in the ruck. Knocks it down, but to Pettigrew. Kicks it to half-forward Treadray. Merritt's done a pretty good job on Warren Treadray. Rolls it inside 50. Peter Burgoyne. Patfull. Peter Burgoyne. Pearce towards Motlop. Tries to manufacture something out of the ordinary. Toward the line, and Riscatelli keeps it alive.
Smart kick.
Adcock can run all the way here. Touch it on the deck and go. McDonald peels off for him. They are 30 seconds from one of their greatest ever victories, especially here at Amy, to bounce it toward Jonathan Brown. Plenty of options. Bradshaw probably the best of them. Looks up unselfishly to Travis Johnston. He keeps it in. Black can have the shot. Oh, Bradshaw. His hands are strong again. And he can finish this off with a beautiful cherry on top.
Well, last year, when Brisbane were 10-1 to beat the West Coast, and they got up, Lee Matthews went to the boundary line. I'm not sure he's down there today, but this is a very similar victory.
I hope he kicks it. He deserves 6, Daniel Bradshaw. He's been... We've run out of superlatives.
Jonathan Brown's kicked 4. Daniel Bradshaw has kicked 5 goals for. It hits the post.
Fair enough.
There are wins, and then there are wins. And this victory by the Brisbane Lions, coming from 47 points down, has been one of the greatest victories of all time for the Brisbane Lions, short history that they've had in this competition. Unbelievable. They have risen from the grave, 18-16, 124 to 16-8, 104 in deathly silence at Amy Stadium.
Well, I dare say there'll be a major inquest at Port Adelaide when they go over this game and think, how do you have such a handle on something only to lose it? And not just get beaten, but to get beaten by 20 points running away.
Yeah. Well, they stopped. Simple as that. I think they thought they'd done enough, and too many people just stopped running.
Rowan Smith is downstairs with the star of the show.
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. I certainly am. Well, Daniel, what a magnificent win.
Yeah, mate, it's an amazing win. Like, going half-time, we're down by 5 or 6 goals, and we knew we had to stick to the game plan, and Lee stressed that at half-time, and we just kept plucking away, and the midfielders were great. Second half, we're getting the ball in there, maybe a little bit more on the forward line, so it gave me and Brandy a chance.
22nd minute mark of the third quarter, you're 47 points down. What are you thinking?
Oh, mate, to be honest, we never gave in. Like, we always knew that if we kept plugging away, stick to our game plan, you never know what might happen, and in the end, it's been a pretty good win.
What about when the rain came? Did you think, well, our chance is shot?
Yeah, it probably makes it a little bit harder when the rain came, but that probably insinuated the game plan a little bit more. We just had to kick it longer and less possession through the middle.
And what about yourself? You're showing no signs of a knee injury at all. You're playing magnificent footy at the moment.
Yeah, it's just good to be back out there with the boys and be a part of wins like this. It's been good.
Go and enjoy it.
Thanks, mate.
You can hear a pin drop here at Amy Stadium at the moment.
It's a deserted stadium.
Eerie silence. They are on death row with their season now. Port Adelaide, a 0-4 start for them. But, gee, the resurrection of the Brisbane Lions from a 47-point deficit to win by 20 points will be one of the talking points of round 4.
Without question, Dwayne. I think just looking at Travis Johnson there, I think his second half had a major impact on this result. He wouldn't be surprised if he got a bit of a touch-up by Lethal at half-time. He seemed to just find another gear. He got plenty of possessions, and whilst he may have mucked up a couple, he certainly was involved in getting them across the line. And Dwayne, you said there was wins and there was wins. Well, there were losses and there are losses. And the reverse applies to Port Adelaide. This is going to really test every fibre of their character at that club over the next 7 days.
Port Adelaide, which has struggled to drag fans to Amy Stadium for games in recent times. They had a reasonable crowd come tonight, 25,205. They've got a tough task next week against St Kilda to try and get back on the winners list. But it's the Brisbane Lions night, from 47 points down to 20-point winners, 18-16, 124 to 16-8.